Hey guys, happy
Hey,
Saturday to everybody. How you doing, Krista?
I'm good. I was just saying hi to everybody. So hello, Gary. Hello, Bristol. Everybody, I was just typing. Hello to everybody. Sorry, I can't type now.
Yeah. My favorite Cub fans in the house, California Cub fan. How you doing? Uh, Good to see you here. Cubs. I think the Cubs won their first spring training game today, and the Cardinals lost. I was trying to watch it today, but I couldn't get it on TV.
It doesn't surprise me.
Good to see baseball back. That means winter is almost over. Spring is right around the corner. We were
Yep.
talking to our guest earlier before we started here. He's in Australia. He said it's a hot one out there today, and it's actually kind of
hmm
a warm one here in St. Louis.
It was nice out. I'm not complaining.
Yeah. You know what? I did not do a damn thing today. I just
I
watched
didn't
a
either.
movie. And actually, you know what I watched today? Have you ever watched The Miracle?
No.
Oh, it's about the 1980 Miracle on Ice when the USA beat Russia. And I've been watching with the NHL Four Nations tournament and everything. I've been seeing
Mhm.
clips of the Miracle, and I'm like, that's just a great movie to get me pumped up. And
Very cool.
unfortunately, it didn't pump me up that much, so I had to have coffee afterwards. I'm
Are
just tired today. I don't know what's going
you?
on. Yeah,
Oh, I'm doing all right today. I kind of had a lazy day myself. I
yeah,
fought Walmart, but that's it.
good.
Yeah. I made
Those.
groceries. Do you know how that is? You got to
Oh
eat.
yeah, yeah. We're doing that
Mm.
tomorrow. So fighting
Yep.
the grocery store.
Yep. I
But
hate it.
yeah, yeah. But hey, guys, thanks for joining us today. We certainly do appreciate you spending your Saturday with us. Hope your day is going great. Hope your weekend is off to a great start. We have a great show for you tonight. We're going to continue with the Australian theme that I have going on for some reason lately. Um, Jayden Calvert from Paracult is going to be joining us.
That'd be
I got
cool.
his YouTube channel in the comments somewhere.
Cool.
Um, there it is. Awesome channel. He's got some great stuff. If you're into seeing stuff in a different country, I know we talk about a lot of stuff here in the
Mhm.
United States, but I think it's kind of cool to get a different perspective from a
Yeah.
different country and stuff. So,
Well, you know what? Hey, can you share it in chat so I
oh
can get
yeah,
it that way and go subscribe? Oh, looks like Pamela did. Thank you, Pam.
thank you,
I'll
Pam.
go do it right now, and I just subscribed to him. So,
There you go. There it is again.
you
Thanks,
know what?
Pam.
You got an announcement to make too.
I do.
Yes, you do. Hello. Did you forget already? Guess so. Aren't you a new member
Oh,
of a
you
team?
scared me for a second. I didn't know what I did wrong. Got an announcement to make. Uh, well, or did you announce it on your channel the other night?
Do what now? You cut out on me
You
a
do. You
minute.
have an announcement to make as well.
I already
Or
made the
did you? Oh,
announcement.
you already made the announcement. Hi,
Randy and I did,
werewolf.
yeah.
Unfor- uh,
Hey,
wrong one. Chat keeps moving. Thank you very much,
thanks,
Kelly.
Kelly.
Appreciate you very much doing that. So yeah, my announcement is I am now part of the Haunted Souls Paranormal team here in St. Louis, in Missouri.
Yep.
But I think one thing I have to do is, I guess, get initiated. I have to spend a bunch of time, or I don't even know how it works, if I'm supposed to stay the whole night or whatever in one certain area.
I don't think it's all night.
Yeah, I don't know, but
Yeah,
yeah, I'll do it. It's gonna be fun.
it's
But
nothing
yeah,
bad.
no, no, but
And you know what? It's at Emmaus, and there's
mhm,
nothing bad at Emmaus
yeah,
except Dogman. Now that's where we did get
there you go.
that
Yeah,
towel. So
just don't put me in the woods all by myself.
there you go. You'll be all right.
Yeah, but no, I am looking forward to that very much, and that's pretty cool. So I don't know
Very
how
cool.
many events they do, but I know they do a lot at
A
Emmaus
bunch.
and Arcadia Valley. So yeah,
Yep.
if you
And myself
guys,
and Brandy were also members, and so yeah, we'll be sharing a lot of haunted soul stuff.
yeah, yeah, and Frankie and Dan are cool guys. So, and the rest of the group, I can't wait to meet everybody. We met some of them when we were in Arcadia a couple weeks ago, but I can't wait to meet more of them. Hopefully soon.
I think you pretty much did, didn't you?
I didn't talk to everybody that were members. I might have met them and say, "Hey, I'm Paul. Nice to meet you," and everything.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get the chance to sit down and talk with everybody.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. So
yeah.
Thank you to those guys for bringing me on there.
Mm-hmm. And they're also going to be at the conference.
Perfect segue to talk about the conference. And you added the new banner. Where are you? There it is.
Yep.
So Crossing Realms Conference, September 19th and 20th in Richmond, Missouri. Why did I sound Irish there?
Richmond, Missouri.
At the Eagleton Civic Center, which is right across from Ray County Museum. We have the meet and greet Friday. We have the conference Saturday. We have the ghost hunt Saturday night, the celebrity ghost hunt. And then we have the gallery reading in between the conference and the ghost hunt. So, yeah, so that's going to be a fun night. So guys, make sure that you get your tickets soon. You don't want to miss out on this one. So this is going to be a fun conference.
Yep, and we added Martin Groves as a speaker for Friday night. So
and we added a couple special guests.
We did.
Danielle Stedman is going to be there. Was that Dale Roswell is going to be there? And
Boswell.
Oh, Boswell. Okay. I have an infection in my right eye, so I can't really see. I got one contact in. I guess I could have closed my eye. Then it looks like I'm winking at everybody. Hey, how you guys doing?
There you go.
How you doing? This isn't creepy at all, is it? Hey,
not at all, Paul.
Come to the concert. Anyway, so we got Josh Hurd, Heather Mosier, William Lunsford, Lady Ann Celine, who's I've been messaging back and forth.
I talk to her just a couple times a week, actually.
She's cool. Ronald Murphy, Dr. Dean Bertram, Greg Ogles, some guy named Greg Ogles. I don't know who he is. Frankie and Dan from Haunted Souls. They're going also going to have a haunted car at the conference. Can't wait to see that. Sir Bryden Bowden is going to be there. Miguel Ramirez. We mentioned Martin Groves. Special guests: Ken Gerhardt, Dana Stricker, Brent Thomas, Ryan Edwards, Mike Familiant, Christopher Garantano, Linda Eastburn. Man, my contacts are messing up here. Our contact. David Glidden, Danielle Stedman, Donnie Cho. Who's that? And Dale Boswell. Hosted by everybody here on the Front Porch crew. I almost said French Port.
I like saying the Island of Misfits. I like that how
toys.
Tex kind of named us that, and it kind of fits, don't it?
Yeah, it does. You got people winking at you.
You're funny.
Come see my booth. Anyway, have a great show lined up. We have Jayden backstage. Let's go ahead and bring him out. A big United States welcome to Jayden Calvert from Australia. Jayden, how you doing, sir?
Good to see you.
I'm good.
That was cool.
That is
Thank
cool.
you.
Like, I'm just sitting here wondering how he's doing that.
Magic. Nah, I got this really cool camera that I bought a while ago, and it's actually like, it's just really cool. It can do so much.
Wow.
I wonder if my camera can do that.
I know mine can't. No, this is really cool.
Cool. Yeah, Jayden, so welcome to America, dude.
Thank you.
How's it going down there? You are in southern Australia.
Yeah, in Victoria.
Yeah.
It's bloody hot. It's
Nice
really
and
hot.
Well, come on over here. It's nice and cool here.
Would love that. Would
Actually,
love that.
we're just warming up. It was like around the lows were below zero here, and just frigid and lots of snow and ice and stuff. So
It's awful.
yeah.
It sounds so nice. I'm a big fan of cold weather. Oh,
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
no, thank you.
See, I like it. Actually, you know what? I like seasonal temperatures. if it's winter, I like it cold. I don't want it like 50, 60 degrees when it's wintertime. I like and I like 100 degrees when it's summer. So maybe I'm just weird.
No, that's okay. Your body's just adapted to that
Yeah.
routine of the seasons changing.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll go with that.
Not weird at all.
So, Jayden, real quick before we get into everything here, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about you?
I'm Jayden. I like long walks on the beach, s'mores on the fire. No, I'm joking. I'm sorry.
A slow zoom would be great.
Oh yeah, we can do that. I'm Jayden. I like small walks on the beach. Really, really enjoy spending time with people.
That's funny.
Spending time with people and spirits.
Yeah, with people. Yeah, I'm Jayden. I'm from a YouTube channel called Paracult. Been an investigator for close to 20 years on and off. Yeah, we just like doing some scary stuff and enjoying what we do. It's very much a hobby, but it's just a massive passion for us all. But that's basically what we do.
Very cool.
So you say you've been an investigator for 20 years. There's an interesting backstory to that. You're not that old to be doing something for 20 years.
No, I'm not.
How old are you?
I'm 28 years old.
28 years old. So how did this start for you at the young age of 8?
Well, it actually started at 6 years old. That's when I had my first experience. And I wish I could go into it so much, but there's a long story and it goes really, really in depth. We'd be here for hours if we were to talk about it. But basically, all my experiences started from 6, but my curiosity didn't really peak with it until about 8 years old when I really understood what was going on. I guess when at 6 years old, you leave a lot to the imagination. Not everything in the world is scary at that point. You have sort of like a fixed reality at that age. So when I finally hit 8 years old, my mother was introducing me to shows like Most Haunted and stuff like that. And when YouTube came out, that was a really big thing. And throughout my entire life, I just had all these different experiences, and some of them were like really full on, like really, really scary. And then other times was just, it couldn't have been a coincidence that stuff had happened. And I was just drawn into it so quickly and so naturally. It felt normal to me to be that kind of person that really wanted to look into that. So I did. And, then I started running away from home at a very young age, trying to find all these abandoned places that people would tell me about at school. And that went up all the way until my adolescence, just running away and just trying to find spots. And then even in our own house, we lived in a few different houses and all of them happened to be haunted. So I don't know what it was. I never saw the real estate contracts. Don't know if my mum signed it because it did say haunted or not. I have no idea. But we just happened to be at all these different places where all these things would occur. And I guess just it felt natural to me to be in that environment. Whereas, places that I would go to that wasn't active or didn't feel like there was something there felt uncomfortable to me. And I guess I was that weird kid. I was always a very gothic, alternative person. And I guess I was just drawn into it. And there's a small part of me that genuinely believes I was meant to do this. I don't know for sure, but all I know is that it's been a part of my life from the get-go, and it's going to be for a very, very long time.
So I also have to ask, if you guys make sure you subscribe to his channels and watch his videos. You are almost covered in tattoos. When did you start getting all those?
Do as I say, not as I do. I started getting tattoos at 15.
Okay.
So that was just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I got it with parental consent, just to let you all know. I didn't go out of my way. I didn't run away from home just to get a tattoo. I want to make that very clear.
There you go.
But it's pretty impressive, all the arm sleeves that you have, and the neck ones and everything. So that's pretty cool.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that, honey. I'm not talking to you guys, honey. My wife is in chat. I'm not gonna. So anyway,
Not even if you get her name tattooed, like
I already
lower
do.
back
I
or
got
anything
her.
like
I
that.
got her name.
Yeah.
I actually have her name in Star Wars language.
I love that. That is
Yeah.
that is
Cool.
so cool, man. Holy
Yeah.
shit, that is awesome.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get a few more, hopefully. So we'll see.
Hell yeah, dude.
Not as much as you have. I don't think I could sit through getting all those.
I reckon you could pull it off. Pull it off.
Okay, maybe I will. Maybe I will.
You never know. Who knows? You start out with getting one, and then it just escalates. My daughter, she's got a sleeve on one arm, and she just slowly like, oh, I want another one, but then she just ends up making it into a sleeve. So,
I do feel that getting tattoos and doing investigations like this are very, very, very similar. Once you do one, you have to go back and get another one. Once you do one
There you go.
investigation, you have to go get another one. So, there's that. So,
Very addictive.
yes, very addictive. Anyway, getting back to the topic at hand here. When you have let's talk about your YouTube channel here real quick. You guys are on a little bit of a hiatus right now, correct? Getting some things built up and gonna be releasing them here pretty soon. Do you have a place that maybe is your go-to that you've shot at and done investigations at that you just love to do?
100%. It's for me, it's got to be Beechworth Asylum. That, I don't know what it is, just that place is so enticing, and you salivated the idea of going back there. We've made it a plan to try and go back there a few times a year, and always go back to that spot for our first year anniversary or our second year anniversary. So that's the spot we would like to do it at.
And I'm looking through your videos, and you have quite a few asylums. Is there a reason why you go to so many asylums?
Yeah, I guess the appeal's there for sure. I'm as much as I love being a ghost hunter, I really genuinely love the history side of things as well. We all have our little guilty pleasures in what we like that we feel a little bit guilty about, and I guess for me, it's definitely the medical industry that was back then. And I think just having that idea of how we've gone from there to where we are now it's so intriguing to me. The advances in technology and medicines that we've created. And I always thought, like, what was the science behind why they did what they did back then to a lot of patients? Not all asylums were just lobotomies and electroshock therapy. It was not exactly a rare instance, but most asylums, yes, did have that, but it wasn't. That's what they were. There was other forms of medicine within that field, and
sure.
I just find that a lot of the history and the trauma and just the energy at asylums is different to wherever you go. Like I could investigate a haunted jail or a haunted hospital, but nothing compares to the energy of an asylum. And
Right.
I don't think all spirits at the asylum are bad. I do think that half the time they do want their voices to be heard. Just from the amount of trauma that they would have gone through, man. Like, absolutely horrible stuff. And we're a big believer in that. And we just want to try and tell their story as much as possible, but also, try and educate as well. And just be like, it wasn't always like this, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. Yeah. It's just different energy, man. Different energy.
Do you think you said something about like negative type things, not everything you don't believe, and I agree with you. Do you think that like the demon word gets overused at a lot of locations, that really there's nothing like that there?
Yeah. We it's we did a Q&A literally the other day, and we released it on Friday, and someone asked us what our biggest pet peeve was, and my partner Rachel, who's in our videos, she said it has to be, not everything's demonic, not everything is evil,
Right.
not everything is bad. And yeah, I do think that it gets thrown around a lot these days. And I don't think a lot of people truly know what that sort of stuff is. You can label something bad as demonic, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god!" But like, there's bad people in life as there are in death. It doesn't mean it's demonic. You've only just fed it that shit, and now it's gonna be like, "Hell yeah," and then now it's just acting out, dude. It's like not ever punishing it's yeah. We could be here for ages talking about it, but bottom line is, straight up, not everything's demonic. I've dealt with it probably maybe once or twice, like throughout my entire career on YouTube, and yeah.
Yep. I agree. I wholeheartedly agree with you. That's why I asked that, because I just feel like, every time you turn on a TV show, it's all for ratings, and that word gets used. Well, people tune in, they watch it, and it makes these people money. And I just don't agree with that,
Yeah, no, 100%. It's become very much a trigger word now for a lot of YouTubers to use, and like that's the problem, man. Like, when these people that have got a huge following that go out to a place and start naming off all this stuff, like there's a dark entity, it's demonic, it's this, it's that, blah blah blah. It really comes back on the people like myself and other channels like Night Watchers, Spirit Crew, all those different types of people that are out here trying to do the right thing. They're trying to educate as well as just showcase what the paranormal is capable of doing. And then we have all these other people that are saying everything's demonic, and people start going towards that because it's more dramatic, and it's
so true. So true.
That's one thing I really like about a lot of the channels here on YouTube that do the investigations. They don't seem to try to over sensationalize everything, and they try to educate and just not get too freaked out about things. And that's what I love about this, as opposed to some of the TV shows. And I don't know if you guys get those TV shows in Australia, but the ones we have here, maybe a handful are decent. But other ones are just like you said, Krista, for the ratings. I just can't stand that. They hear a knock behind them. Oh my god! Oh my god! They run away and stuff. That's not right.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. And the thing is too, like for instance, Paul was scratched at the museum, but I don't believe it was anything negative. It doesn't necessarily mean that it was a negative entity that did that. What if that entity was that ghost was just trying to get his attention? It didn't mean to, nothing else happened after that to him.
No.
So I don't even feel like all scratches are negative entities.
No.
No.
And actually, when I did get scratched, I think it was more of the spirit telling me, "Hey, I'm in charge here," because it actually kept telling us to get out on the EVP, and we wouldn't. So I think it was just saying, "Hey, here you go. This is your warning. Get out of here, like I asked you to." So I don't like to use the demon word. I'd prefer to use like negative energy.
Right.
Doesn't sound scary.
Lower vibration.
Yeah, running into a demon is such an extremely rare occurrence, and it's also something like, if you ever do the studies about it, specifically with the paranormal, you'll find that they're not going to be they're only going to be at specific places. They're not going to be like everywhere that you go.
Right.
Like it has to have a decent amount of foot traffic so they can feed off that. It has to have like, it's just, there's so many things that people would be attracted to, and it's not at half the places that you would go to.
Right. Yep. Agree.
So you had sent me a couple videos beforehand, before tonight, about that aren't released yet. One was in a prison. The other one was at a movie theater, or not a movie theater, just a theater. I find theaters very intriguing to investigate. All kinds of different energies there. I'm assuming, and it just seems like really cool place. Give us a little history about the place that you're going to be releasing soon, I guess.
Um, so I'm still looking into a lot of the research because a lot of it's not unfortunately written down anywhere. But from what I know, it opened up as a congregational church in 1859. At some point in the early 1900s, it got turned into like a theater plus a community center. So in terms of deaths and hauntings, I don't know if anyone specifically died on site. That information's not confirmed. So we didn't really look into that a lot. But I know that a few teams beforehand had gone there to investigate, and a lot of them came across a lot of religious spirits, like like choir boys and priests and stuff like that. And I guess that's really as far as the history goes. It still does get used as a theater for performances and stuff like that, usually with the local primary schools and high schools and stuff like that, or grade schools for you guys, I guess. But yeah, like that's really as much as we know. We only know more about the hauntings than we do really about the history.
Sure. Yeah, I need a come to Australia sometime because there's just so many cool places and things that I've heard about and watched and all that good stuff for sure.
Yeah, come hang out with us, man. We'll take you to some cool places.
Absolutely. That'd be fun. Road trip.
As long as you're up for doing some scary stuff. That's
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I was telling Dan and Pete and Ange when she was on that this Australia is one place on our bucket list that we want to go just to see. My wife loves it, but
road trip.
Yeah, exactly. But
flight trip, I guess.
I think I'm not crazy about the flight times, but I think that would be just fun to go around and like we said before, just find new places to look or to investigate and stuff. And I'm sure you guys would take us around.
Oh, for sure, man. For sure. As soon as you step foot in Victoria, we'll be there, man. We'll take you around everywhere that we know.
It'd be awesome.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. So you had the theater. You also sent me a prison, and you guys got some pretty good evidence from the prison when you guys were doing the Estes method. I remember that, and I think you were in 2 different cells, maybe.
Cool.
Talk about.
We had the idea for doing that specifically. I know the owners and a lot of the people that do work there. And I usually ask them, has this been done before? Has that been done before? And usually they'll give me a yes or no. And apparently the 2 solitary cells, which is where you would go for punishment or if you couldn't be trusted among other prisoners, that's where you would go. The whole inside of the cell is painted pink because apparently back then that was the color to calm people down, which I don't know. It would just piss me off personally.
Right.
But but that was a thing. And there's a lot of activity in there all the time. And I guess a lot of people do an Estes session in one of the cells. One of them feels a bit more uncomfortable than the other. But I really wanted to give it a go with 2 people doing a dual Estes session. We had the equipment there ready to go. So we thought, yeah, you know what? We'll do it. And weirdly enough, we always try and go into places without any knowledge of any like hauntings or a lot of history and stuff like that until we actually leave. We always like to get those things confirmed just in case. So we go in there completely blind. I myself have been to Geelong jail a handful of times, but everyone that was there with me had only been there either once or never at all. So I didn't disclose any information to them, and I really wanted to see what we got. And yeah, just the back and forth stuff between those 2 people, like it was almost like they were almost having a conversation with each other, but at the same time talking to us. It was a whole weird scenario, man. It was just different. Yeah. And being in the middle of those 2, I've got Asperger's. I get really bad sensory overload in some cases, and with all these voices going off, I was like, okay, nah, this is getting a bit hectic now, but it was really interesting. Really, really interesting.
have you ever done Estes in two different locations? Not necessarily two rooms, but two different locations.
No, I haven't, but that is an idea, isn't it? That'd be
Hmm.
cool.
We were going to do that. Where were we at?
Hmm.
We were going to do that, but we couldn't get
I don't
hooked up
remember
with.
where we were,
It
but
might have been
yeah,
Ray County,
might have been. Yeah, it might have been. I think it
but
was.
we couldn't hook up with the others to
That's
get
right.
their
That's right.
location. So, but yeah, that would be pretty cool if we can get something that might be connected
Mhm.
and have responses come through. Ask a
Well, I've
question
seen
on
that
these.
done before, and it does work.
Hmm.
I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Somebody, we got a couple questions here for you, real quick. Northern California Cub fan, do you have the version of Dogman over there? I know you have the Bigfoot in the, was it the Yowie?
Yep.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nah, but if you travel to some suburbs in Australia, there are some people that I would call a dog man, I guess.
Really?
But it's sorry, or just uh, you know, there's there are some amazing substances out there that do change a lot of people. And I guess when you see someone walking on all fours at 2 o'clock in the morning in the middle of the city, I'd say that's the closest thing we have. But in terms of mythology or lore, I don't know for sure. There could be. It's a really cool thing. Actually, I'd probably enjoy looking into that. So I don't know.
I think I want to go there now just to see people walking on all fours
I know,
in
I
the
right?
middle
promise
of.
you, you do not. You do not. You know those Ring doorbell cameras that people
Yeah.
watch on YouTube, like the complex. Imagine, right? You're living in a really broken down suburb down here, and you just see someone going past your driveway, and just like it's
I could see where you would call that a dog man.
yeah,
or,
yeah.
or just a weirdo, maybe.
Right? Right? That too.
Yeah. Or could be called a, hang on a second, kangaroo man.
Oh, I wish we had a kangaroo man, dude. There's a movie called
You
Tank
may.
Girl.
You
That's the
never know.
closest
You
thing I've
may.
seen to a kangaroo man, but that'd be cool. That'd be
You
really
you
cool.
may have a kangaroo man. You just haven't heard about it yet, because like here in the States, like I've heard of people talk about frogman and all kinds of stuff. So
That's so cool. That's awesome.
Thank you, Twisted, for that new phrase, kangaroo man. I like that.
I love that.
Another quick question here from Little Twisted: has Jayden ever investigated or experienced the Min Min lights?
Ooh. I personally have not, but I've definitely watched a few documentaries that explain it, and I do know someone that has had that experience themselves. But
oh,
personally, no, I haven't.
Wow, awesome,
cool.
awesome. Okay, so getting back to investigations and stuff, what is maybe one of the scariest things that you've had happen to you while you're investigating?
Ooh, there's so many. There's so many. That's a really hard question. There's so many things that have happened, and all of them have different, I guess, levels of fear. I think probably our most one of the videos that we haven't released yet. So there's this massive field on this private property, and there used to be an asylum and a hospital, and it was mainly for treating tuberculosis through the gold mine rush, but it later on got turned on into asylum before the surrounding suburb was actually even established. So this place was literally out in the middle of nowhere, like in the middle of the bush. I'm sure that there's places in Nevada that would look very similar. That's the best way I can try and describe that. Just out in the middle of nowhere. Um, but this whole establishment had been demolished due to a fire that happened in 1986. So there's still remnants of the bluestone embedded into the ground, and some people have just come along and stolen it because down here it's so expensive to get that sort of stuff. Like it's worth a pretty penny. But the only thing that remains from this entire asylum is just this one room, and it used to be the morgue of this asylum.
Ooh.
It's the only thing that remains standing, and there's theories as to why it's the only thing. One theory is that the builders couldn't demolish it because they were told not to by something that wasn't there, and they were too scared to even touch it or go into it. And then there was another thing where it was the only thing that really survived the fire, so they've just kept it there. But ultimately, there was one ghost hunter that wanted to go there and investigate. You have to have really specific permission from the owner, because he does not like anyone on his property. He's one of those, like, if I see you, I'll shoot you type dudes. And so this guy, he got given permission. He walked up there, and within a few minutes of him being there, he was like, "No, I'm not interested. I'm sorry, it's too much." He was only there for 5 minutes. Now, there's only one entrance in, but there is 3 windows on these walls. It's just 4 walls. That's all it is. These 3 windows are wide open, and there's no roof on it. So it's just literally like, yeah, the structure's still there. But we went in there during the day. It was around 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We walk in there, and the energy, man, we put our arm from the outside to the inside, and you felt it. Like all the hairs would stand up on your arms, and then we're like, okay, that's a bit weird. And the guy that was with us, Drew, who let us know of this location, he's half a skeptic. So he's like, oh, I want to believe, I just haven't had those types of experiences. I'm like, yeah, that's cool, man. And even himself, and his wife, who's not a believer in it whatsoever, they both felt uncomfortable in there. You know, they could not handle it. And we were like, all right, let's go in there. During the day, we just felt like sick, almost like there was a pressure in our chests. We were being like almost like choking up a little bit. It just had a really uneasy vibe. Like you just didn't want to be there. And we didn't want to throw around the D word, but it felt very dark. You know, not demonic, but very, very, very dark. And we're not entirely sure why. Well, being a morgue, you can probably put it down to being that, but you know, like that's usually a last place of rest, right? Like, why would anyone be in there specifically that would give off that feeling? I came up with the stupid idea to do that place alone at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the nearest road is 500 meters away. This is on top of a hill. So the rest of my team were literally 500 meters away, just outside of walkie-talkie range. And we all turn our phones on airplane mode so it doesn't affect equipment.
Yep.
So the only thing that I had was a walkie-talkie, and I set up a bit of equipment. I stayed up there for about half an hour. Mate, the stuff that I heard and the stuff that I was seeing, it was terrifying. And I was in a place that I had never been to before, in the middle of nowhere. That was terrifying for me, but it was also really cool at the same time. Like I was soaking it up, but at the same time, as I was filming, you can see like there's moments of panic where I'm like, what do I do? But you know, usually in those instances, I promised myself I would never run from a location. I would never run from anything. I would always tackle it head on. That was a place I was deeply considering just bolting, in all honesty.
How long were you there by yourself?
Half an hour. That's all it took for me to call people in. Yeah.
Wow.
Hey.
And little Patty says now her belly hurts. That's interesting. Wow, that's crazy. What kind of equipment do you guys use when you go out, and do you sometimes just not even use equipment?
I tend to like the no equipment vibe, very old school. You know, you let them get the energy from you, and if
Me
you
too.
that's my favorite. But we do have a lot of equipment. We have a few REM pods, music boxes, K2s. We have everything that we really need. Like I want to get more like tracer lights and stuff like that would be awesome. And a lot of the stuff that we do have is based on EMF and motion. But we just set them up as like a just in case. And we've found that sometimes just using equipment is really great, but recently we've been doing it without equipment. You know, we did an investigation literally last night, and half the night we didn't even use equipment whatsoever. We actually bought balloons, and we put them along the ground. And I shit you not when I say this, man. All of them moved at the same time, and then they would stop. We would ask them to move a specific colored balloon, and it would happen. And then we were just playing with one balloon. It was a white one. I passed it to a friend of ours, and then she passed it back, so on and so forth. It landed near her feet, and we're like, "Oh, can you please give me the balloons?" Hoping that it would like float up to her hands and go. And then I was like, "Oh, can I have the balloon back?" I shit you not, without a lie, we caught it all on camera. This balloon literally hovered along the ground like that and came toward my ankles, and I was about 3.5 meters away from it. It was nuts, and that was the only balloon that moved.
I'm getting goosebumps just listening to you talk about it.
Yeah, it was. We were all like in shock about it, man. We were like, "Nah, there is no way that happened." But it was so good. It was awesome.
Wow.
That's
That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm with you though, as far as like the equipment, because I don't use a whole lot of equipment. Very rarely will I, because I feel like your body tells you everything.
Yeah, the best tool that you have is yourself, man.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly. And you know, you know when things are about to change and things are
Yeah.
not so bad. So yeah, I get
What
it.
is, what is, what about do you do any protection exercises or carry protection on you or anything like that when you go to these places?
Nope.
Nope.
Really?
We definitely know what to do in case, but as far as I know, we haven't had to do that. And I've never. It's not that we don't believe in it. We have no issues with other people doing it. Each to their own.
Sure.
But yeah, at the end of the day, I wear this necklace. Usually, it's an obsidian spearhead. I think it just makes me feel more grounded. But I wouldn't say it's protection. It's just like a reminder, I guess.
Sure.
In a weird way. But yeah, in terms of protection, we don't have to sage ourselves when we leave. We don't set up anything at our house either that is remotely protective in any way. Not that we don't believe it. We definitely believe that there's the healing power of crystals and
Sure.
natural remedies for sure. But no, we just don't do it.
Good deal.
I'm assuming you haven't had any attachments follow you home or anything.
Oh no, we definitely have for sure. Yeah, we've had it. They don't stay for very long though. I think they get really bored because, like, outside of like our job and investigating, we are the most boring people. Like, we'll just be sitting in a lounge room watching a movie or a TV show. I'll be in here playing video games or editing or doing something, and I don't think they really care for that. When there's knocking and happening behind you, or we see something, we just sort of like sub, and then just keep moving. We're just like, all right, cool,
Great.
you're here. Do whatever you want. We don't mind.
Yeah.
You ain't paying rent, so like we ain't gonna acknowledge that.
Right. You're not feeding it. So
Yeah, exactly. We acknowledge that it's there, but we're not like subscribing to the idea that. But nothing bad like has followed us home at all.
Yeah.
Like, we usually have those spirits that are like, oh, you guys are really cool, and then they come home and then they start doing stuff around the house, and we're like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Freaky said something about one of those ghost things going. It's probably my dog that everybody hears because he's laying next to me snoring and he breathes loud.
Okay.
So
That's cute.
it's probably the dog, not a ghost box.
Just the dog. Just the dog. Oh man, I keep doing this. I keep losing track of where I was going with something.
Well, I have a question.
Go for it.
What are your thoughts on, a lot of people are against like Ouija boards and things like that. I personally think they're a tool. It's your intention and it's how you use them if you use them properly. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm the exact same. I think it's just a tool. My partner, Rachel, on the other hand, just does not want to screw with one. But I love them. I reckon they're awesome.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I don't really care for them too much. We have one at work that one of the girl's daughters plays with, and I'm like, yeah, that's not really a good
Yeah.
idea. Every time I see her,
Yeah. In the
Yeah.
wrong hands, they can definitely be dangerous.
100%. You have to
absolutely.
step into it knowing what you're doing, dude.
Yeah,
You're
like
gonna
that.
have that positive
Yeah.
energy before you even step into something like that.
Yeah. So that girl that's doing it at your work, Paul,
Mm-hmm.
that's dangerous because I don't
Yeah.
feel like she knows what she's doing. She has no business messing with that. You know.
Is she trying to summon to something to do the work for him, or like, because that's
Oh no,
pretty
it's her
smart.
it's her daughter who doesn't work there.
Oh,
She's actually a high school kid, and she takes it downstairs to the basement of the store, and she does it down there. And from what I've been told, I haven't caught anything, but we do have the basement. Excuse me, the basement's haunted down there. Every time I've set like cameras up or something downstairs, it's always been when we're open and there's too much, commotion upstairs with people walking around and stuff. So I can never get a definite reading or
right.
anything. So
What does the owner say about their high school teenage daughter doing a Ouija board? I would be so against it. Like,
they
you know,
they don't care. They don't care.
wow.
That's a story for another show. But
Yeah.
they're so easy going there that they just don't really care. They just let her do their thing and stuff. Which I've mentioned to the mom a couple times that if she doesn't know what she's doing, I don't think we should be doing this.
Yeah.
But she still goes down there and takes it. Like, okay, whatever.
Well, see, then that's what's going to happen is like they're going to end up summoning something or taking something home and that girl can't deal with, and then somebody like us has got to go in and fix it for her because of her stupidity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But
wow.
Anyway, have you ever used a Ouija board in an investigation?
Out of respect for my partner and the locations, no. A lot of people are very iffy about the idea of it. Mm-hmm. I'm all for doing it, but I'll never overstep. If a place doesn't want it to happen there, I'm not going to do it. But I don't necessarily own my own Ouija board. I usually borrow them from other people's. Even Rachel doesn't want them in the house. Yeah, she doesn't trust me to not play with it in my room by myself. So, and she may be right. But yeah, like if we got given the opportunity and someone had one just by chance and we got the permission, then 100% we would.
Right.
But yeah, just out of respect, no.
Right.
Yeah.
And I remember the question I had before. Do you do private cases at all?
We do. A few people have reached out to us before. We've definitely gone and helped a few people.
I mean, certainly without divulging anything, any information about the people. Can you describe what they've had experience at their house, or?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that reach out that just want their 5 minutes, I guess, and then there's other people that are genuine. And now I've got a really strict criteria. I'm like, look, if you have proof of all this stuff happening, please try and document it, and so we can justify going to your place or not. And then there's other people that we've trusted, or we know for a fact that something is happening. There was one lady that reached out to us that was really stuck in the mindset of her house being full of demonic entities. And I was like, all right, bet that sounds like a really fun place to do, and we'll try and clear it out for you as much as we can. Unfortunately, it was just her own imagination. We were there for hours and we did everything that we possibly could, every experiment that's under the sun. I spent my time in the house alone. Nothing happened. And then we're like, what do you mean, like all these picture frames are falling off the wall? And she's like, yeah, this is what it looks like. I'm like, okay. And then we start looking, we're like, these are hung up by Velcro.
There you go.
After 5 years, love, they ain't gonna like get stronger. They're gonna start falling. Like that's a normal thing. And she's like, what about the orbs in the baby monitors? I'm like, your place is just dusty. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. I ain't gonna be out here saying that everything's haunted, dude. And you know, and then she's like, what about the scratches on my leg? And I'm like, there's no scratches on your leg. Like, you've never sent me a photo of that. And she was claiming, like, and we asked her before, have you ever gone through any surgeries? Have you ever done this and done that? She said to us straight up, no. 5 hours after investigating, she was telling me that, oh, I have all these, like, you know, feelings up my leg when I'm trying to sleep at night, like these things that keep me up. And I'm like, I'm just going to ask you one more time, have you ever gone through a surgery? And she's like, yeah, I was in a car accident. I've had like knee surgery and ankle surgery and brain surgery. And I'm like, so those are your those are your nerve systems. Like, that's what's happening. And she was literally telling me to like tell her that her house was haunted. And I walked away and I was like, no, there's no way. I'm sorry. I can't subscribe to this idea. You wanted my help. I'm here to help.
Yep.
And she still asks me to this day if I'm ever going to release the video on YouTube. And I did that investigation 1.5 years ago. And I took a camera there just in case with her permission. And I'm like, there's no point in me doing anything. Like, I'm sorry, but that's not happening.
Well, and the thing is too, you know, like we too have done cases like that, and you know, like we can't find any evidence of it, and we'll do walkthroughs and stuff before we do it. We also have a questionnaire for people to fill out, like, you know, and it gets personal, but we always tell people, listen, we're not here to judge you. We're here to help you, you know, and if you want our help, you know, this is what we suggest. And there's been a couple cases like, you know, we tell them nicely, but, you know, like we don't find any evidence. However, you know, maybe you might want to reach out even to a therapist or something like that, you know, or even high EMF, you know, that can cause, you know, hallucinations. So I commend you for not giving in to her, because a lot of people would, you know.
Yeah, I just didn't. I don't like. I'm always going to be as real as I possibly can. You know, I did tell them, look, I know people that you can go talk to about this sort of stuff that can look into it further for you. But from an investigative perspective, I'm just going to say no. I'm sorry. And I felt like she just wanted her 5 minutes of fame, like as a video on YouTube. And we're like, we don't do that. We're not.
Yeah.
We don't do that. I'm sorry. It's going to make you look like an idiot. And we don't want that. You know, if there is something going on and we haven't found it, I don't want you to be that person that, you know what I mean? Like, just out of respect. But there has been private cases where stuff has happened. And I would say that a lot of what these people do believe is the demonic side of stuff. And we're just out here being like, nah, they're not demonic. They're just really wanting to just reach out and have a chat. And we actually got this lady, one of our first privates, actually, she had been talking to us for ages before we even established a YouTube channel. She reached out to us and she was like, there is something happening in my house. She had video evidence. She had photo proof, you know, all these different things. Everything ticked all the boxes. So we went there, did an investigation. We found out that it was actually her father that was reaching out to her. And she had no idea. And we had no idea that her father passed away. And we're just like, does this name ring a bell? She's like, yeah. Can you tell me more? Because we're like, don't tell us. We want to tell you. And you just say yes or no. And we're like, is this person related to you? And she's like, yes. I'm like, is it your father? And she's like, yes. I'm like, did he die of lung cancer? And she's like, he did. And we're like, there we go. It's your father reaching out to you. And she's like, how do we know it's not something dark? And we're like, because that's the way that you'd perceive it, because you're not, you don't want to open up your mind to the idea that this is actually happening. So you instantly think it's dark. It's not. It's actually normal. And we cleansed the house. We tried to help him move on. And, you know, I think the person that reached out to us, God bless her, she's a lovely human being. She was so grateful for that. She messaged us a month later and she was like, I think I'm finally found peace within myself and being within my house. And I think that was really nice.
That's cool.
That's got to make you feel pretty cool that helping people like that. You know, either, you know, getting rid of something that's been bugging them like that, or just helping them out. That's got to be a cool feeling.
It's a really humbling feeling, I guess. It's always good to just take a break from that scary stuff for a bit and just help other people out. Like, if you can do it, do it. You know, we never charge anyone for that sort of stuff either. Like, we'll drive hours out of our way just to make sure that someone's all right. Because You go to a normal psychologist or a psychiatrist, and they ain't going to be like, oh, you need a psych ward. You know what I mean? Whereas people like us, we believe them, and we're just like, we understand what you're going through. We just want to.
Yeah.
Right.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's cool. Is there one place in Australia, or let's just stick with Australia for now, that you would like to investigate that you haven't yet?
Yeah.
And where is that and why?
I would love to go to Port Arthur in Tasmania. That from what I've heard from people going there, just visiting the ruins and stuff like that, there's a lot of jails, asylums. Obviously, we had that massacre that happened, unfortunately, back in the 90s. But that whole area is just full of incredible energy from what I've heard. And I've never been there. I know Dan and Pete went there from Night Watchers. They went to Tassie and they investigated this whole place, and they told us all about their stories and whatnot. And we were like really happy about that. But everyone else that I know that's traveled to Tasmania, even if they're not like paranormal enthusiasts, they just like, it's just weird. Like you go to some of these places and it just has that fear. So that's the place that I've on my bucket list.
Interesting. And I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. You and Dan and Pete, you guys are getting together to do an investigation together or something together, correct? Or
maybe
am I making this up? Maybe.
Maybe nothing cemented in stone just yet.
Okay.
But me and Dan have been chatting back and forth. It's an idea. We just haven't planned it yet, but we've sort of planned it in a weird way. He's like, I'm going to come down there at this time. And we're like, all right, cool. We'll wait. And we just haven't really, there's just, things happen in life that just change the course of it. But, it is definitely a plan for sure.
Awesome.
Cool.
Awesome. Well, we gotta head over there, Krista.
I know. That's what I'm saying, man. I want to go with them. I want to go.
I guess Lori likes you. Your voice is posh for the Ausland.
Thank you.
I must be old. I don't have a clue what that means.
Yeah, I don't think my voice is posh. It probably does. I don't know. I'm from a specific part of Victoria where it's I don't know. Posh people down here don't sound like me, dude. I can tell you that straight up. Like everyone else is just like, oh, have you not added vanilla into my cappuccino? And if you catch us on a night out with the boys, we're just like, hell yeah, man, let's go and get rowdy, mate. What's up? Like we go nuts.
Yeah. Those days are behind me.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me
Long
too.
ago.
Oh, you're still young. Come on.
Nah, I don't do that. Any of that stuff. I barely even drink, man. I'm such a I'm a straight shooter.
Yeah.
That's good though.
That's probably really good for what we all do, right? I mean, you're not on any chemicals or anything. You're not drunk going into these places. I mean, that's got to help somehow.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. I've always often wondered what it would be like, but I don't want to try that anytime soon.
I agree.
It would just be different, and it would be disrespectful as well. And we had about
and dangerous. It could be dangerous because you're not in your right mind, so anything could happen.
Yeah, like imagine being like drunk out of your mind, and you go into a place that has asbestos, and you like stiffen the walls and stuff like that. You can't be doing that,
right? Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, you do stupid stuff when you're not on an investigation when you're drunk. I that would be just absolutely insane doing that. Yeah, don't do that. Never mind, guys. Don't do that. So what do you have coming up that you're going to be releasing here soon?
We've got.
Or actually, when is your hiatus going to end, and you're going to start releasing some of these videos that you guys have shot?
That's a good question. I don't know. I want to try and get at least 7 or 8 videos done. At the moment, I'm gonna start editing the one that we did last night tonight, and that would make 4. So maybe around 7 or 8. But we do have like we have consistency with the locations that we're going to. So I'm assuming it might not be for long, maybe May, I reckon. That would be my closest ETA, probably around halfway through May.
Okay. We got a couple questions here, actually both from T-Bone. And T-Bone, by the way, thank you for the memberships that you gifted earlier. Any Bunyip sightings?
Bunyip sightings?
Bunyip? Okay.
I know of a few.
First, can you explain what that is? I have no idea what that is.
A bunyip. So, a lot of people think it's different things. I think, from what I know, it's like an ancient Aboriginal spirit. Like, yeah, I've heard it thrown around a few times with Australian Indigenous culture, but I haven't done the research in it. And in terms of sightings, I've heard people talk about it. I personally haven't looked into it, but these are all really good. Like, I would definitely look into it for sure, but I would have no idea.
Okay. And then his next question, any work with Indigenous shamans?
I would love to, personally. 100% would love to work with Indigenous shamans. We've been to places that have rich Indigenous culture, like the Point Nepean quarantine station. There used to be a birthing ceremony for Aboriginal women to go give birth, that entire area. So that's pretty cool. So we've definitely gone to places like that, experienced Indigenous spirits and culture. But in terms of shamans, I don't even know if there is shamans in Aboriginal culture. I think there should be. They might be called something else, but no, I've never worked with one, but would love to. That'd be awesome.
So we've talked all night about ghost investigations and stuff. Have you ever thought of doing any kind of cryptid investigating?
Yeah, man, 100%. Like we got yowies down here, dude. I would love to do that. Like, I don't even know where to begin. Like, do we just sit out in a forest and just with a tent and just wait? I would have no beginning how to start that, but that'd be cool. Min lights, would love to look into that. The whole alien and UFO stuff is pretty popular down here, so love to do that. I've definitely seen a few UFOs myself, for sure. So that's really, really cool.
Close up, or
I'd say that they were close enough for me to know it was a UFO.
Really?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I was in this, just really, really quick. I was staying at, my mum had a partner at the time, and we were staying at his parents' house in a place called Yarrawonga. It's like on the border of New South Wales. And I just happened to, I was about 7 or 8 years old at the time. I was really young, but I remember it as clear as day. I remember just waking up and there was like a red light outside, and it was really quick. It just went past. I would have thought it was like like a police car or an ambulance or something like that, or a helicopter. I don't know. But I looked outside and this thing was just like hovering there. It was like literally a saucer shape. You could see it because the backdrop of it was just like really faded clouds. So you could see the shade of it. I don't know if y'all heard that. That was my partner sneezing. That was
God bless you.
Yeah, bless you.
Oh. Are you okay? Are you okay? You're right.
Tell her we heard that all the way over here in America.
I heard that in America, babe. She went, ha ha. So yeah, I saw this thing and it had like this really weird pulsating red light going around its side. And then all of a sudden it just like dissipated really quick, or I just blinked and it just shot off. But it was like very sudden that it just disappeared. And that was crazy to me. I'd say I was at least 500 feet up in the air. It was that close. But that was awesome. And it didn't last too long, but I felt like I was in that moment for ages. And I had a really horrible sleep after that, actually. It's almost like they dropped me off or something like that. I don't know.
Really?
But yeah, I'm not gonna. I don't know if that actually happened or not, but I couldn't sleep after that. I had a like weird pain in my. I woke up and I started seeing this thing, so it was strange. But yeah, it was really weird. But that's not the first thing I've seen when it comes down to extraterrestrial stuff. I've got a tattoo. Oh, wait, hold on. Of an alien on the side of my neck.
Yep.
So I'm a really big alien guy. That's like my first true love.
Really?
Yeah.
That was kind of my what I grew up really being interested in is UFOs and all that stuff, and then I guess it kind of grew into the ghost and everything. But yeah, I hear you on the UFO stuff. That would be cool. I haven't seen one yet, but that would be pretty awesome. I think. I guess be careful what you wish for.
I mean,
Right.
all you got to do is just go out to the middle of nowhere and step in the sky, and you'll probably see something for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There's actually a place just a little south of here called Piedmont, Missouri, that supposedly there was, I think it's Clearwater Lake, that's down there. Supposedly they have a lot of UFOs coming in and out of that lake, which I would love to just go down there and actually, I believe when I was a kid, there was a resort down there that we would go to. But I think I would love to go there and just kind of hang out on the lake at night and stuff, and just kind of see what happens and what I can come up with.
Wasn't there an abduction of like this fisherman at Clearwater Lake like many years ago, like in the 60s? Or am I just thinking of something else entirely?
Could have
Well,
been.
that'd be a good question for Terry. I don't know. She knows all about that area.
Yeah. It seems to me that there was something going on down there in the 60s. Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to ask Terry about that. So yeah.
Interesting.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Um,
So what are your thoughts, since you're into the UFO thing, Jayden, about like abductions and things like that? What do you feel about that? Do you feel like maybe you have been ever, or
I don't want to say that I have or not. I don't know for sure and with all certainty. I reckon it could happen to anybody, really, and we just may not ever know. Could have happened to all of us. You sleep well tonight, everyone. But I don't really know. I know that my mother has had an experience that was pretty full on. My mother's a psychic medium, so I guess that also helps me go into this sort of stuff at a very young age and be open to it. But she's had a pretty vivid few dreams about something similar being taken up in a craft. She couldn't see the inside of the craft. It was very like an invisible sphere that she was in, and she was with this really tall white Palladian looking guy. He had pink eyes and like a really long beard, and he had like jewelry, and like it looked like turquoise, but it was glowing in a weird way. And he said something to her, and she doesn't remember what that thing was, but it was extremely important. And she always talks about that dream to this day. And yeah, in terms of actual abductees, I think it's quite fascinating. There's a guy I've just recently found. I don't know what his name is, but he goes in depth about people that have been abducted with these greys that come from the star constellation Zeta Reticuli, that they're like a dying out race because of this galactic war that lasted like 600,000 years. And all of the females from that race got pushed out of their society, and only the males stood, and then they couldn't handle being enslaved. So this race that took them over, I think, was like some sort of reptilian, right? Like a Shitahuri. I'm not too sure. But they basically took away all their reproductive organs, and these Zeta Reticuli creatures were like, we can't handle this. The best thing to do is just lose all emotion, because we're not going to get out of this. So they accepted their fate, took out their emotion through however they did it. And then since then, they've come to the conclusion that they've made this mistake. So they've started abducting people to try and understand their reproductive organs and do that. But then there's other theories that go just, like as a scientist, we find animals all the time that are either new species or something we want to look into more. And what do we do? As humans, we try and look into it clearly. In some cases, I don't believe it should be a thing, but taking it from its natural habitat, dissecting it, looking into it. It could be the same thing for, abductees. That could just be part of an experiment. But then there's other life forms out there like tall whites and Palladians and all these different types of creatures like Anunnaki, if you want to go further in depth about that just want the best for humanity, and they've chosen specific people with a specific wavelength of energy that are able to accept those circumstances and provide them a method and stuff. So I'm not too sure. It's but these are all just theories, but it's always really interesting looking into them.
Yeah, I agree. Excuse me, we hear about, people who like find like pieces of metal or something under the skin, like, that they've been marked and tagged, so like they can be traced. And I just find all of that stuff interesting.
Yeah, for sure.
You kind of touched on human, I don't want to say human mutilation, but having the reproductive organs removed and stuff. Have you guys down in Australia had much animal mutilations? I know we were had someone on the show not too long ago talking about cattle mutilations, and that's kind of a big thing around the United States now. But have you heard much about that in Australia?
I think there's been cases of it happening. I don't think a lot of people down here that do go through something like that like to subscribe to the idea of it, or of it being extraterrestrial in some cases. A lot of times they'll just put it down to a feral pig or an animal that's just come out of nowhere that has done it. But I think there has been a small amount of cases where it has happened across Australia. Can't say how many or who or where, but I have definitely heard some stuff in recent years about that. Sure.
Interesting. And what do you think about the cattle mutilation or animal mutilation, I guess I should say? Is it just crazy animals that come out of nowhere, like you said, or do you think it's UFOs coming down to get them to study them?
Who knows? Who really, really knows? I don't even know, to be honest. Like, it's just a weird thing. Like, why cattle out of everything else? And if there is anything else, like, why hasn't that been touched on? Like, people have pig farms and cattle farms and sheep farms. Why aren't they as affected as much as cattle? Right. Who really knows? That's a good question. I guess it's just the idea of cattle mutilations there, but as the reason why, it's just a complete mystery, isn't it? None of us really know.
Yeah.
No. But that's something else that fascinates me.
Me too. Strange.
Little Patty.
Weird way to get a glass of milk, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
Or a steak. Jane, do y'all get crop circles?
Yeah, we do. We definitely do. There's been a few. Not as much as America, but we have had a few down here.
Interesting.
I think those are really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would be.
And that I don't see how anybody on the ground can fake one of those. I just don't, to make them too perfect. It's got to be something coming in from above, because they're just too perfect. And they're really cool. They're almost beautiful in some of the, designs and, so there's nobody from the ground can do that.
Yeah. Like when the people go out there and measure the stalks from where it's got bent to a specific angle, it's too perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is. So I'm saying it's nothing that we can do, I don't believe.
Now, do you think these UFOs either live here, the aliens live here, or among us somehow, or do you think they have bases in mountain ranges, underwater? What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think there's maybe a small civilization of creatures living under the planet. I think that for sure, like just beneath our soil. There's definitely uncharted places in parts of the world that we haven't even looked at that they could be there. Mountain ranges, definitely for sure. Like, why not? If Area 51 can put a base in a mountain, why can't anyone else?
Exactly.
The moon, there's a reason why we probably didn't go back. Probably the same reason, because like the idea is there and the logic is there too
Mm-hmm.
when we really look into it. So for sure, I believe that 100%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Jayden, this has been a fun night. Certainly has been fun getting to know you and talking about some of your experiences and stuff. And guys, make sure you head on over to Paracult on YouTube here. And any other places that people can find you?
We do have TikTok. We do have Instagram. The Instagram's starting to build up. I'm starting to like pay more attention to the Instagram now. But yeah, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook, just the main socials, we're on there.
Awesome. Well, make sure you check him out, and hopefully May, like you said, you'll be getting some more of your content out.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, you've sent me a couple of them, and guys, they're worth the wait. So make sure you subscribe over there, and have notifications on, and get those videos. So Jayden, man, I really appreciate you. Was it Sunday morning there now?
Yeah, it's just here at 1:15 in the afternoon.
Wow. Well, thank you for sharing your Sunday morning. Don't tell us how Saturday night, the rest of the night, turns out. So, I like to be surprised. Maybe that's why I have Australians on, because I like telling that dumb joke. I don't know.
No, I like it. It's good.
I'm just a goofball.
It's funny.
Anyway, again, thank you so much for being here. And one more time, make sure you guys go over there, and let me put the link in chat here. It's one more time. There it is. And thank you guys all for joining us tonight. We certainly appreciate you guys coming in and just viewing it. Kelly Sandiford, thank you so much for your $10 donation. Appreciate you. And T-Bone, thank you so much for the membership gifts. Very much appreciated.
Yep, thank you all.
And again, just appreciate you guys for showing up and watching us. Make sure you tune in to Donny Cho. Says stuff tonight. Is he on tonight after the after?
I believe so. I believe Donny is, and
I haven't heard
BMR.
him.
I'll
Then
be
you got
on
BMR
with
tonight.
at 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
So fun-filled night ahead. So guys, have a great week. One quick note, I'm not going to be doing my sports show on Monday night. We had a death in the family, so there'll be a funeral Monday night, so I will not be able to do that show. So we'll skip a week, and then we'll be back the following week. So, all right, guys, let me get to the right spot. If I can find it. There it is. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. We will see you all soon.
This is the future. Evolution. This is the future.